Hello, everyone. I just wanted to really thank Dr. Vaughn for her contribution and for sharing and giving her time. It was a great testimonial, wonderful, wonderful experience. And I hope it helps and motivates everyone, and I'm sure it will. Thanks again, Dr. Vaughn, for everything.
Hello, Argosy University. I believe I'm speaking to the financial management class, and your professor is Mr. Jacob Akpan. I believe I pronounced his last name right, but if I did not, please forgive me. My name is Dr. Michele Vaughn, and I am so excited to be a part of your learning process. I was asked by your professor to answer a couple of questions that could possibly help you as you navigate your way through this particular course. Hopefully, you will be able to glean a couple of nuggets from my answers when I begin to elaborate on where I am today and how I develop my own business. So my personal background consists of me being a former track and field athlete. I originally graduated from high school and I went to college on a full track scholarship. Like any other athlete that has aspirations, I mean, you could not tell me that I was not going to make it to the Olympics. I thought that I would be at least a pre-Olympic trial in the long jump. But how many of you know that you win and lose by the decisions you make in your life? And so here I was a freshman in college, and I qualified to go to the national junior competitions, and I placed fifth. So I did really well my freshman year, but my sophomore year in college was a year that my character did not match my athletic skill level. And that was a year where my decision making was off. My decision making did not line up with some of the goals that I had in mind. And so here I was 19 and pregnant, and I lost my full track scholarship. I had to come back home, which is a small area in which I stayed, which is outside of Chicago. But I came back home and I was very ashamed. I felt depressed. And I really did not know my purpose outside of track and field. So this was a down moment for me. And I really believe that in life, in order for anyone to be successful, you have to know what it feels like to experience the trenches in your life in order to appreciate the mountain climbing. So here I was, just a little bit about me. 19 years old, I'm pregnant, I'm suicidal, I'm depressed, I'm lost, etc. And I really don't have a clear vision for my future. Long story short, I had my first son. I got married at a young age, and we tried to turn our lemons into lemonade. We didn't quite know what marriage would look like for us, but we tried and married for 4 years, and we had two sons together, which I call my blessings. They're my angels. And after 4 years of marriage, I divorced at 23. So imagine, here I am. I'm a single mother, 23 years of age, and I am charged to raise two sons alone. I'm a minority woman, and I don't know what my purpose is. By this time, the friends that I graduated high school with have already successfully completed their bachelor's degree. They're looking for employment, and here I am struggling, sleeping on an air mattress, unemployed, broke, with no hope. So this was a really a defining moment for me. This was my tunnel moment. It was dark. And I had a conversation with God. For me personally, that was the route that I took. It was more spiritual. And in that conversation, I asked what will be my next steps. Because one thing I knew is that it hurt to be broke. It hurt to live in poverty. I'm not sure if you're aware of the statistics, but in this country, we have 12 million single parents in this country, and 80% of them are mothers, and half of the 80% are living below poverty. At that time, I was a part of that statistic. Long story short, I heard very clearly, go back to school. Here I am, a young adult, single mother, and I decided to enroll into a community college. And when I enrolled into a community college, I went full force. I laced up my shoes and I said, you know what? I'm going to do this thing full force. My sons deserve better. So I enrolled in school, took 19 credit hours per semester. I attained a job. I was working part time at a fitness center. I earned $7.50 an hour, which was $500 a month, $6,000 a year. I never received child support payment. And I was charged to either pursue my purpose and dig ourselves out of poverty or die in poverty. My sons did not deserve that. So I decided that this will be my Rocky moment. This will be my Rocky Balboa moment. And long story short, with dedication, hard work, and perseverance, I was able to come out of poverty, fast track it. I was able to work my way all the way to my PhD. I accomplished my PhD in 2012. And besides the accomplishment of my PhD, I dug myself out of poverty. I went from sleeping on air mattress to now owning my own home. I was able to transition my sons into a nice school district so their education will be quality. And I was also able to obtain 3 separate promotions within a fast track time. So literally, I went from wiping down fitness equipment, earning $7.50 an hour in 2004. January was the last month that I earned that wage. And 4 years later, 2008, I became the youngest associate dean in the region of Illinois, working for a 2-year community college. I believe that the reason why my life has been so fast tracked, I called it my FedEx experience, is a couple of things. I'm a spiritual person. I believe in faith, and I also believe in hard work and dedication. I also believe in vision casting. I believe that education does not make sense if you do not have a plan for education to work for you. You have to have a plan outside of your degree completion. The reason why you come to your financial management course, you have to be able to answer that. The reason why you're enrolled in Argosy University, which, by the way, I'm an alum because I received my doctoral degree from Argosy University. So education has to work for you. I believe that as a single mother, looking back on my life, overcoming obstacles, living in poverty and working minimum wage jobs just to put food on the table, it allows me such a great appreciation for where I am today. So literally, you're able to learn from someone who know what it's like to not have, someone who know what it's like to work hard for what it is that she desires to have. And now I'm in a position where I'm helping others come out of the same desperation that I once was stuck in. So a little bit about me. And if you want to learn more about who I am, I won't waste your time. Please visit my website at www.drmv.net, drmv.net. So that's just a little bit about me. Former pregnant teen, overcame poverty, worked my way to my PhD, published my first book in 2012. It's called If You Could Birth a Baby, You Can Birth Your Dreams. It's located online, Barnes & Nobles, Amazon.com. You can purchase my book and learn a little bit more about my story, which is targeting teen and single mothers to empower them. And then I went off and I started my own business, which I'm going to share with you next. So how did I start my organization? Excuse me. Well, a couple of things that my life is currently involved in. I have a nonprofit that I was charged to and challenged internally from myself in 2012 to develop. This is called the Teen and Single Mothers Resource Center. This was a vision that God gave me when I just defended my dissertation. My dissertation work, I have my doctorate in educational leadership, and my dissertation was qualitative research. I studied single and teen moms who dropped out of high school and they returned back to high school with their child to accomplish their GED. So like I mentioned before, education has to work for you. You have to be passionate about what it is you're taking the time to intake and learn. And I know for me, serving single mothers, empowering the lives of the least likely to succeed is my passion. I did not want my dissertation to just sit on a shelf, collect dust, and then poke my chest out and say, yeah, add EDD on the end of my name. No, I wanted to put work into what it was that and what it is that continues to concern me, which is single mothers. So in 2012, I began my nonprofit program, and I just began with. And here's the thing: I did not have the financial resources to do so. So whenever you begin to see your vision, okay, and you don't have the financial resources at that time, that does not mean the vision is on pause. It doesn't mean the vision is on pause. It means that you have to begin to take an alternative route and think differently. What do I mean? Well, I didn't have the money at that time, but I began to put my wheels began to turn in terms of what is the mission of my nonprofit? What is the vision? Okay, the vision casting. What are our objectives that are measurable, that people can look at and say, okay, that's success, right? That's successful right there. So although I didn't have the monetary resources at that time, notice I keep saying that, I began to act as if I did. So literally, one day, one weekend, I literally sat in my bed with my laptop and I drafted the entire business plan. It was just the entire day. And when I did that, it brought my dream into more realistic reality. So I began to hold myself accountable for something that I wrote down and didn't have money to produce at the time. So I want to encourage you as you are in a business course. Some of you are going to be entrepreneurs. Some of you are going to work for very well established corporations. You have to begin with the end in mind. Note that. You really, really do. So long story short, beginning with the end in mind, I established I got with the company and I invested in my vision. If you're not willing to invest in your vision, you cannot expect others to invest in your vision. I cannot stress that enough. You have to be your first investor. That means you're going to take a loss before you see gain. That's just business practice. You will take a loss before you see gain, but don't give up hope, because the race is about finishing. It's not about winning. You're not in a competition with your neighbor. You are in a competition with yourself. So this is going to require that you finish what you start. Many people grow up and say, well, I dreamed of always doing this, or I've always wanted to do that. Well, the follow-up question is, well, what's stopping you? How come you've never, well, then some excuses, well, I don't have any money, or I don't know how. Well, we live in a country where there's so many resources. There's so many know-how methods. There's so many opportunities with nothing in your pocket. All it takes is you betting on yourself. So here I am, long story short. 2012, I put the pen to the pad and I developed my business proposal for the Teen and Single Mothers Resource Center. And then in 2013, I developed my board members. I requested people who I knew were credible, people who had skills in areas that I did not have skills in. And that's another thing. When you're in business, when you are pursuing something that you've never done before, you do not want to be the smartest person at the table. You want to include other professionals around you who are stronger in certain areas that you're weak in, because you need a balanced approach, right? So my board members consist of women who understand the population that the Teen and Single Mothers Resource Center serve. Three of us have our doctoral degrees. I have an attorney on board. We're all educated. We all understand what it's like to be a single parent. And so we all have different areas of expertise that we bring to the vision. So that was in 2013 when I developed my board. And then I submitted my paperwork to the state of Illinois. I submitted my paperwork to the IRS government for 501c3 status. I took my money out of my paycheck to invest in the dream, because a dream is not selfish. It was selfless. If your dream only involves you, students, it's a selfish dream. Your dream has to involve benefiting the lives of others. Business is all about demand. What do people need? What do they desire? And then you fill in that gap. 2014, remember, I don't have a lot of money for this vision, but I began to reach out into my local community as if we already were funded. And I tell you, when you are passionate about your dream, your business, your desire, other people can't help but to catch the fire, right? So I met with a young woman who was a president of a particular school. And my meeting was involved meeting with her students. She asked me where was my office. I told her that I work from home. She said, no more. This is your building. This is your organization center. I give it to you. And she said, I felt God told me to do this for you. Did you hear me? What just happened? In 2012, I didn't have anything. But I began to put my dream and my vision on paper. I developed my business proposal. 2013, I selected my board members. 2014, God gave me a building. I didn't pay a dime. Don't pay anything. You have to begin to build and move forward scared. It doesn't matter how many obstacles come before you. If you continue to jump every hurdle, even if you fall over a couple, because remember, you're climbing a mountain that you've never climbed before. So you have to move forward scared, knowing that the closer and closer you move forward, the closer you are to the finish line of the completion of your dream. That's the best advice I could possibly give you. You're not going to have all the answers, students. You're just not going to have them. So you have to move forward scared. To learn more about the Teen and Single Mothers Resource Center, please visit our website, www.teenandsinglemom.com. That's my nonprofit, people. But that's not it. I also have a small business. So that's my service. My nonprofit is what I feel like I'm called to do. I get most satisfaction when I'm sitting in front of a single mother and I see change, right? That's what I do in terms of service, just being the best human I can be. But I have another business that I recently launched called Lead to Inspire Training Institute. And I have been certified through one of America's most leading leaders, Mr. John C. Maxwell. Not sure if you heard of him, but if you haven't, you're sleeping. He is dynamic, sold over 25 million books all over the world internationally. And I have been trained through his organization. And I developed my own small company. So literally, I am in the process right now of establishing my leads, meaning that I am targeting key Fortune 500 companies along with higher ed institutions that will allow me and my organization, my institution, to come in as a consultant, hire me and my team to provide leadership training to existing staff members. There is a leader within each of us. Everyone has leadership embedded within themselves. And sometimes when you get hired into these positions, you can grow weary behind the cubicle. Sometimes you forget why you are working at a company. And so what my company is charged to do, we go in and we provide leadership tools that will equip, empower, and inspire staff members to perform at their maximum level. Now that my people, is where I earn my monetary profit, and that is something I love to do. I share about my story, and people really like when they can relate to you. They don't want you to give them the salesman approach. They're human. They want you to be touchable, and they want you to be given the human approach. So that's my small business, Lead to Inspire Training Institute. And the website for that is www.lead2inspire.org. That's under construction. It will be up within the next 2 weeks. And then I'm not done. I'm also a director for career and externship services for a small higher ed institution called State Career College. This is an institution that focuses on medical assistance, CNA, and dental hygiene assistance. And what I do is I develop contractual contracts with different hospitals, smaller doctors and physician offices, and I provide externship opportunities for our existing student population. I provide job coaching. I prepare our students before the profession, getting them ready for their next level in life. Because it's one thing to sit inside of your classroom, take notes, pass tests, and go through the teaching and learning process, the formal process. But I tell you, it's going to be a whole different story when you leave that classroom and you step into the real world and you say to the world, here is who I am, believe in my vision, let me, be a part of what it is that you're doing, and the world has to buy into you. It's a different story. So my job is to prepare our students for the real world and create some realistic opportunities for them in terms of their profession. So yeah, in a nutshell, I'm pretty busy. I'm still a single mother, gladly and willfully. My two sons are 19 and 16. My oldest son just completed his first year at Columbia College in Chicago. He's a TV producer major. And my youngest son is going to his junior year in high school. So between my two sons, my dog Cocoa Puffs, he's a Yorkie, and me working full-time, managing a small business and a nonprofit, I would say I'm pretty busy. But I'm living a fulfilled life, a purpose-driven life. Okay, so the next question is, what has been my greatest business challenge? Okay, so let's just be real here. It's going to be difficult. Anytime you are on the side of creating a vision, right? You're the entrepreneur, you're the developer. The biggest challenge, I would say, especially because I've just experienced it, is believing that it's possible. Believing that it's possible. That's the biggest hurdle. It's not externally, meaning that it's not the lack of resources tangibly, because we live in America. America has so many resources available. So many resources. Your biggest challenge is going to be internally, believing that it's possible. If you can get over that and get through that, you will be successful. That's just simple as that. You'll be successful. Okay, the next question. Someone asked me, what is your business decision-making process? Before I answer that, I want to promote a book that I'm reading and suggest that you purchase this book because I just believe that this book is a great tool for anybody who has a dream, right? It's by John C. Maxwell himself, and it's called How Successful People Think. On page, actually there's no page number right now. I'm going to just read really quickly. It says, the right thought plus the right people in the right environment at the right time for the right reason equals the right results. Okay. My process for decision making concerning my business has been by trial and error. Okay. Literally, there is no carved out universal successful map for entrepreneurs, for business owners. There is just, it's not. It's all subjective to your experience. It's tailored for your life. I do believe that in order to be successful in business, you have to have some sort of discipline within you. You have to be disciplined. For me, with managing so many different things going on, I have set, when 2015 started, I'll just share this with you. Right when 2015, when we entered into this new year, I said, okay, Michele, we have 7 days out of the week. I looked at Sunday through Saturday, and I carved out what each day would mean for me in terms of productivity, what would get me closer to the dream. So Tuesdays and Thursdays are my writing days because I'm working on a second book as well. But those are my days where I write, and I blocked out my time where no one can disturb me. And then I had certain days carved out for my nonprofit, and it just, so you have to create your own formula that will speak to your success that you desire to attain and that you desire to live out, right? So my decision making has much to do with the disciplined lifestyle that I decided to adopt as I managed all of these different areas in my life. You can't forget that you have other compartments in your life as well. It's called the wheel of life. You spin it. It's like, okay, you have the compartment of your family. You don't want to neglect the people who are close to you. That keeps you healthy. It keeps you vibrant. When you have carved out a part of your life to enjoy the people who you love, I think that's healthy, right? You have your social life, your financial life, your spiritual life, your hobbies, all these different things. It requires discipline. My decision making for my businesses are all embedded and wrapped around my disciplined lifestyle. If I do not have, I have to have tasks before me because I'm a completer, I'm a finisher. Remember, I used to be an athlete. I have to see the goal, right? That's how I'm able to measure my success because I'm not the type of person that just sit around and just, I just put it up here. No, you have to write it down. See the vision, make it plain, people, and then move towards it. If you have discipline and you write out your task or your goals and hold yourself accountable, then you will be successful. I also created a vision board. In my vision board, I took different magazines and I carved out and cut out different pictures and photos that represent where I see my life headed within the next 2 to 3 years. That vision board is what I see every morning when I wake up. And I just profess out of my mouth that I will get there. You will too. All right, I'm at my final question. And the question is, what advice do you have for someone wanting to start a business? Here is the big answer. Business, to me, when you are deciding that entrepreneurship is for you, it's going to require that you know your purpose. Because if you do not know your purpose, then I doubt that you're going to have the longevity and the second wind that it's going to require for you to work out the logistics of your dream, right? See, when you know your purpose, that's answering your big why in life, right? So when you know your why, it gives you that much more leverage to deal with the how. How are you going to get there? How are you going to get this? How are you going to get that? Who are you going to? It gives you that power because you have now filled in the blank of your why. So when you decide that you want to venture out and become a business owner, You have identified your why. And now your why speaks volumes to your potential clients, because you know who you're meant to serve, and you know what value in products or whatever it is that you're dreaming. You know what you're bringing to the table, and it's all good. It's for the better. So if you're thinking about becoming a business owner, I challenge you first to examine your why. That will give you the power to deal with your how. Because becoming a business owner is not easy. You're going to receive no's, you're going to receive rejection, but it doesn't matter. Because if you receive rejection, they're not rejecting you. They're rejecting the vision at the time. But just because you receive a no, that doesn't mean that you're failure. Don't take it personally. It's just business. Some people are busy, and some people just don't have the time to lend to you at this moment. They may not be a part of the beginning process. That doesn't mean that they're not going to be a part of the process in the end. Some people you have to turn into believers by the outcome of what they see. That's just how it works. So don't be discouraged if other people don't buy and invest into your dream right away. You keep moving forward. Remember I said in the beginning, you have to be your first investor. You have to. You have to labor in your dream. You have to. And I tell you, if you continue laboring in your dream, believing in your dream, you will not fail. You'll be successful. My name is Dr. Michele Vaughn. Thank you for having me to be a part of your class. I feel like I'm inside of your class. I'm not inside of your class. But thank you, Professor Jacob, for inviting my voice to lend to your students. Hope that you were able to glean from something that I've said. I'm not a perfect person. I don't have all the answers. I'm not a millionaire yet, but I am a woman who knows her purpose. And I am going through my how at the moment. And it has been an honor to share my experience with you. I wish you nothing but the best. Go Argosy.
I don't know what that dream is that you have. I don't care how disappointing it might have been as you've been working toward that dream. But here's what I know. That dream that you're holding in your mind, that it's possible. See, sometimes we can't say, I can do that. But what we can say, that it's possible that I can have my dream as we run toward it, as we work on it day in and day out. And most people don't work on their dreams. Why? One is because of fear.
And that's why you'll never be what you want to be. That's why you'll never have what you want to have. That's why you'll never accomplish what you're all over the place.
Success, guys, a very, very lonely road, man. Along that road, you're not going to see too many friends. You see your shadow most often. You got to trust in the heart of hearts. Inside what you're doing, what you believe in, is a worthy cause, a winnable fight.
I wish I could tell you you're tired, go take a break. I wish I could tell you you're tired, rest for a year. I wish I could tell you that it's going to get easier. I wish I could tell you it's going to get easier. I wish I could tell you that if you just keep going, it's going to get lighter. The weight is going to get lighter. I wish I could tell you that. When you get to the point where enough is enough, when you get to the point where it hurt real bad, when you get to the point when it's over, when they're tired, when they're frustrated, when they're ready to give up, when they spent their last dime, that's when they get started. But what you cannot do is you cannot quit doing the process. You cannot give up because it ain't what you see. You cannot give up.
You can't give in. You can't give in!